back with more Angel. This is episode 14 of season 4. Very excited as always to carry on, so what's going to happen next. Last episode was incredible. And I was thinking back on it like, oh, what happened? You know, we had Angelus, which was really cool. We got Faith back, which was even cooler. We had some badass stuff with that. And Angelus killed the beasts, and that's been sorted out. And it was an amazing, amazing episode. And then I remembered how it ended. And my world came crashing down. Everything around me just crumbled and fell. And I was like, well, shit. Guess we're doing this again. Mamma mia, here we go again. And yeah. Cordelia is pregnant, which is so far beyond icky, and lots of issues to that. And it's a way of whatever Cordelia is now, if there's something possessing her, or if she's been influenced by something, or whatever's caused this turn to the dark side. I think it's her way of kind of keeping him on side. I mean, it's not like she's faking it. We saw the bump and everything, but she could feel like he was swaying more to being like, Faith's so cool, I'm a Faith stan now. She was like, I don't think so, baby. Quite literally, baby. So I guess we'll see where that not so welcome plot development goes and the impact that's going to have on things. I don't know what it's going to add. I don't know if there's just a long-term plan for this. I was thinking along the lines of, well, Connor was kind of like this miracle child, you know, this child of 2 vampires that's clearly given him special gifts. Is that going to be a thing that carries on with their child? I don't even want to think about it. Like, Angel's going to be a granddad. I mean, I get it, he's very old, so it shouldn't be the biggest surprise to me, but, you know, he's been a dad like less than a year, now he's going to be a granddad. Wow, that's a lot to take in. But anyway, I will sit back, maybe not relax, and see where the hell this is going to go. But we still have Faith, we still have a bit of Angelus, so there's stuff to enjoy. And that is the focus as we continue season 4, for sure. But either way, let's get into the next one. Oh, these Slayer Watcher vibes. They're giving me feels.
I'll get bandages.
All sticky.
Well, it is a sticky situation. It's been a while since you've been like battle damaged like that. It's the angsty shower scene! Who had that on the bingo card? Oh dear, well. Oh boy. Well, it wasn't a window, so that's progress.
Hello, Angelus. It's time we had that talk.
Santa?
Now that I've killed your little pet rock, have a little face-to-face, huh? Assuming that you've got one.
Don't
Word. We'll meet. When you're ready.
ready,
I have wonderful plans for you, my
sweet boy.
Yeah. But the thing is, as far as plans go...
It's kind of how Dala talked to him.
So,
Maybe this means we did the right thing. Bringing Angelus back.
right. He's a real
Yeah,
hero.
convince him of that. He'd be doing fucking well.
Kill
Angel
him.
could save Cordelia's life from certain death, and Connor would be like, it should have been me who did that, you suck.
I won't ever let anything hurt you. Either of you.
He's not going to want
I know
his
you
kid to
won't.
have what he went through, I guess.
Just remember,
Not that he necessarily
She's
dislikes that,
ours.
but
nobody else needs to know how lucky we are.
you're just going to carry around a pillow then?
Did I mention the only shots I'm good at involve tequila?
You don't
Me.
think Angelus is planning a repeat
Even then.
performance, do you?
The income to pay for the alcohol around here.
Exactly. You know, this
Oh.
is a business and we need to start running it like one. We should be charging.
She doesn't want to see anyone yet. She just wanted some... soup.
She's supposed to be our best chance of getting Angel back. But what if she's not up to it?
What if you need to call someone to help?
Talking to yourself, Red.
Uh-oh.
That going around.
You can't hurt me.
Kind of thought you pesky PIs would be humming that old tune, so...
Oh,
I
shit.
picked up a little something. Lets me be as demon-y as I want to be.
I don't
You
believe
try it. Oh.
Brainiac like you must have a theory.
If I did.
I've got a theory. It could be Cordy.
What you're up against, I'll make you his bitch, just like the beast. So if you're gonna kill me, just get it over with.
No, let's not do that.
Made in China.
Oh. Oh dear. Well, he didn't jump that time, he fell, but...
Well, isn't that interesting?
He kind of demon-y.
Toodles.
Gets all threatening then, says Toodles.
Track him.
Lucky spell, huh? Can you get to me before I snap his neck? You still that fast?
He has a habit of doing that.
Yeah. All about choices, Faith. The ones we make and the ones we don't. Oh, and the consequences. Those are always fun. Don't worry about
Choices
it.
and Consequences. 2 episode titles in Buffy Season 3.
Come on. Faith!
Oh! Sneaky. Wesley has no luck with neck injuries, does he?
What?
Do not go in there.
Take everything we had on whoever the beast was working for.
Son of a...
Nearly killed Wesley outside the
Can
hotel.
suss you out.
He got the book and the Wolfman Heart papers.
Not your fault.
That they think it was.
Everyone blames everyone else in this show.
He's still in the area.
You'll let him escape again?
This coming from the boy hostage?
Yeah, let's
jealous.
calm down.
You should have gone for him.
The only way to defeat him is to be just as vicious as he is.
Then you should have kneed him in the stomach or something when he had you. A little elbow right in the solar plexus. Angelus in glasses is a very weird sight.
These aren't helping.
Ah.
Getting inside door. Hey!
Angelus!
Oh, hi.
I am not well pleased.
And I'm not well deaf. If I did have any friends, they sure as hell wouldn't be living inside my head.
Like you're forced to live inside angels?
Oh, not anymore.
Because you're the voice in there, aren't you? Just beneath the surface, buried under all that goodness, fully conscious.
He doesn't want to go back to being that.
But I will restore it if you don't behave. I'll put you back in your box, Angelus.
What do you want me to do?
Fred said it would make him his bitch.
If you really think you did something wrong, don't do it again. That simple.
Is it?
Oh.
'Cause I miss you.
Oh. But was that a, oh, something's missing from that kind of thing? Or was that hopeful? I do not know.
Come on, I bruise easy.
I'll just go again.
And even if I did,
Oh.
I never yak to a couple of flesh bags that are about to get their internal organs sucked out of their...
Oh, didn't even need to look. Whoa, Jesus.
Eventually.
Think yours will.
Oh, that Angelic. Yeah, in here all the time. Now, look at me, I'm so evil.
Riley, you in here?
What the
I don't even know what I am.
I do. You're a daddy.
I knew she was going to say that, and I want to jump off a bridge.
Just wants we're special. Just like our baby's gonna be.
I think your baby's going to be evil.
I'm really gonna be a father.
I'm as shocked as you are.
Best.
Oh, stop it. Jesus Christ.
I'd feel a lot better if I knew everything that was happening.
Yeah. Give me intel, please. You're nothing to her but a penis.
Tall, dark hair. Listen!
Okay, God, what's your issue?
Tall, dark hair. Tall...
What's your childhood trauma? Oh.
No, I didn't. Stop it. You're hurting me. What are you doing, Rex?
Shut up! Your tracks on your arms. You've been here, what, 2-3 days straight? Answer me!
Wesley?
Stop. Yes.
You totally lost it?
I avoided the main arteries. She'll live.
Oh,
She called us.
that's good then.
Torturing humans, part of the new makeover?
I did what I had to because you couldn't.
I hit her.
You think that's something new to her?
You crossed it back there, Wes. What'd you do?
You have a problem with a little torture now?
Yeah, I was gonna say
I enjoyed it.
how the night changes.
Well, it's not me anymore. You know that.
You've always been sick. It goes right down to the
So you're
root
trying to get to
fault in
her
yourself.
to like
That's why your
make
friends
her
telling you in Sunnydale? Why the
fiercer.
Watchers Council tried to kill you? No one trusts you, Faith. You're a rabid dog who should have been put down years ago. See? Wasn't so hard, was it?
Yeah, that's exactly what he wanted.
I can't risk killing Angel. After what he's done for me,
Maybe we should cast a spell.
there's gotta be another way.
Cast a spell. A witch could cast a
Smack
spell.
on the noggin with a 2x4.
An adorable witch could cast a spell.
Maury's been peddling these to tourists since LA had cable cars, honey. And fools the Bermuda shorts off them every single time. Maury?
You know where this guy is?
Yeah, sure. He hangs his horns in a shop down on Olive.
Ooh,
Oh, Wes, now.
we have a lead.
Little birdie in my head told me you'd be here. Whew. Exciting.
Here we go again.
Strike three!
Oh no, well. Oh dear, oh no.
You tried to get Angel to kill you because you felt all weepy over being such a bad little girl.
Bringing back her lowest moment.
Do you still feel that way? What's that?
No.
I can't hear you.
Well, that's good.
You never used to bleed so easy.
Screw you.
Maybe after. I like my girls to lie still.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
How's it going in there?
It's like Loki in the
Good old
Avengers.
Wes. Always count on him.
Wesley was like, I'm not sure you're ready for this fight, Faith, and he's always the one who gets taken out first out the two.
And this.
Oh. Oh.
Come on, Faith. You're not even...
Oh.
You're a murderer. Animal.
You enjoy it.
Come on.
Not like you.
Oh.
You will be.
Oh no! Okay, another really great episode. Love this one. Shall we just get the Cordelia Connor stuff out of the way first? Because my goodness. It's just... ugh. I know they are fully aware that it's supposed to be uncomfortable, and it is because of the whole nature of it, and the fact that it's not really Cordelia. That kind of softens the blow a touch. Doesn't mean you have to do it. You know, you could find other ways. So yeah, you can kind of see Cordelia is keeping Connor on side with this, manipulating him in that sense. Like, all you need to focus on is keeping us safe. Flirting her eyelashes and her devil child that I'm sure was being grown in there. And she said it was like growing quickly or something, and if the others found out, it would scare them, and they tried to kill it. Like they tried to kill you, Connor, pressing on your insecurities. Because, you know, we already know he gets very insecure when he thinks something's his fault, and he gets fixated on that idea with the whole thing with him being afraid that he was the connection to the beast and everyone shunning him for it. So now she's pressing on that as well. And just, yeah, causing a bit of a ruckus with all of that, and I'm not here for it. So, yeah, it's tough, you know. Connor has no idea it wasn't really Cordelia that he slept with, and now he's got a kid on the way, and the fact that it is growing quickly, I assume means, you know, we'll be seeing it before the season's out, whatever it is. That, you know, what on earth is this baby going to turn out to be like? I have no idea, but I imagine that's going to be like where the season ends up going. I don't know if whatever's controlling Cordelia or whatever Cordelia is now, I don't know if it's their plan to have gotten pregnant, because, you know, Connor is a very special person in that sense because he's the child of two vampires. Or was this just a thing that accidentally happened and she's just like working with it? But I feel like this creature can plan ahead with things and is very kind of, this is what our plan is, because they had a plan in mind for the beast, and then I don't think they counted on Angelus actually killing the beast like that. So now he's kind of, well, they're trying to get Angelus on their side, and they've kind of threatened to restore his soul, unless he kind of does their bidding, I guess. So I like how they circle back around to what Fred was saying to Angelus, even though she was really terrified of him in that moment, and he kind of got what he wanted from that first encounter, taking all the stuff to try and find out more about the beast's master. She did kind of say, you know, you're really underprepared for this, you know, this is bigger than you, you're going to be its bitch. And ultimately he kind of has been, but I think he'll go about pretending that that's not the case, or, you know, just making the most of it, as we kind of saw in that final battle with Wesley and Faith with him. He was like, oh, you know, this voice in my head, he's kind of making it like a light-hearted joke about it. So he's like, it's not really controlling me, it's just a thing that's there. I'm doing its bidding, but I'm still in control of this, like trying to lie to himself, I think, because he's the big bad villain. So I suppose it is interesting to see that, you know, this thing, Cordelia, has managed to turn the tables on Angelus very easily, even though they lost like a big player in their plan in the last episode. So that demonstrates this power of this thing, and yeah, exactly what the big goal is, what it wants to do, I'm not sure. It wanted Angelus out. It's now pregnant with Connor's kid, which is the weirdest thing. Even saying it 1,000 times, I'd still be like, wait, what? So yeah, not exactly here for the storyline, to be honest. I think they could have done something different. But it'll be interesting to see where they take things, I suppose, maybe. Whether or not I agree with it, I don't know what's going to be happening with that, but it's just a mess, isn't it? But I can't really fully judge it until it's all, you know, all is said and done. Whether it's the end of this season or they carry on until season 5 with this, who the hell knows? Well, basically all of you watching will know, but yeah, it's just uncomfortable, and they are certainly playing into that, you know, having them do all the and if she calls him daddy one more time, I don't know, I feel like my soul will leave my body if that happens again. Like, please just stop it. I know this was a different time, this was like 20 years ago or whatever it was now, just under 20 years, but still, I don't know what I am. You're a daddy. Basically. But again, we'll see what happens. But aside from that plotline, that I feel like they could have just literally done anything else. I'm still enjoying all of season 4 outside of that little weirdness. But I can imagine something like this would taint the overall thing, you know. Too much salt could spoil the dish. Maybe this is the salt and some people like just can't get past season 4 because of this. Or maybe something even worse is coming. The ultimate apocalypse that I really won't be a fan of. But, you know, I can see why this isn't particularly well received. I assume this is the bit of season 4 that isn't well received, because I'm certainly not receiving it well. That's for damn sure. But we'll have to see what happens with it. I suppose it's a testament to Connor's loyalty to Cordelia and his child, that he wants to like stick by her, and he's actually honouring what she wants for the first time ever. He listens to no one except Cordelia, so I suppose that's nice, even though it's not really Cordelia that he's listening to. But, you know, it is what it is. I don't know if he'll ever truly change his mind about his dad and Angelus and everything. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, but at least Connor's not being like, oh, I'm going to be a dad. I'm getting out of here, and just runs away. You know, he's kind of embracing it in a very odd way, considering, you know, he's still very young. So to see Angel's son deal with fatherhood the season after he was born is odd. But it's happening, and we must accept that and move on. I'll try to. So yeah, we'll see what happens with all of it, but it is still very uncomfortable, and definitely the parts of the episode where I'm like, oh, come on. I don't mind it when, you know, possessed Cordelia's like manipulating Angelus and talking to him through, you know, I don't know, she must got some kind of, you know, that stony thing. It's like a voice changer app or something, isn't it? To make them sound like this. Actually, when it went Angelus at one point, that was like, oh, that was kind of creepy. That was kind of scary. So I like that aspect of it, and I suppose it is cool that it has this like presence and just this voice and this kind of cover for its cover of Cordelia, because even then it's not really Cordelia. So it's this thing disguising the fact that it's Cordelia, disguising the fact that it's not Cordelia, which is kind of complex and interesting in a way, but also I just rather have Cordelia around, you know? I'm sure Charisma would rather play the character that she had been playing for 7-ish years at this point, but I'm not going to speak about all the behind-the-scenes stuff, because I clearly don't know the full story. I don't know if anyone knows the full story. But yeah, there's that. There is that. But the rest of the episode outside of that, I thoroughly enjoy, even though I'm dreading everyone finding out that Cordelia is pregnant. Outside of that, a few bits with Fred and Gunn. I did like Gunn constantly saying, Fred, this isn't your fault, don't pin this on you, because a lot of people in the Buffyverse blame everything on themselves. And in that situation, you know, what else could Fred do when she thought, well, Angelus can hurt me here? It would have been stupid to try and kind of stand up for him. Brave, but maybe stupid. And I think she kind of towed the line quite well with that, being confrontational but also cautious. She just had to kind of like let Angelus take all of that stuff. And as soon as she like saw the Made in China thing, she was like, you little bullshitter. And that was when the perfect timing came around with, you know, tranquilizer darts and everything. But I do like that they're not purposefully keeping Angelus away from the main team. I think that is something with, like, you know, the Angelus arc in season 2 of Buffy. It was outside of, like, the beginning of Angelus's arc on season 2 of Buffy and the end of it, I feel like he was basically kept away from the main group for ages and didn't have that many confrontations with them. Obviously, there were a few, like, Passion and everything. But some other episodes, I think he felt very separate, like Go Fish, and I think he interacted with Xander in Killed by Death. It was around that point. Maybe that was episode 16, I can't really remember. But, you know, he never had, like, big confrontations with the whole group, I think, until the very end of the season. And maybe even then, it was basically the fight with him and Buffy, wasn't it? But in Angel, he keeps going back to that hotel, and he keeps being part of these big group kind of scenes, which I like, because it's doing something different with Angelus yet again. You know, we see him in flashbacks to kind of advance that story and learn a bit more about how Angel is nowadays, when they've used him in flashbacks before. But now to have him in present day is already a different kind of thing, at least for Angel to do. But now there's something even bigger than Angelus going on at the same time. You know, it's kind of like if they ever did a thing where, like, oh, there's an alien invasion, oh dear, but then, like, even more powerful aliens happen to invade at the same time and destroy all the, you know, the original aliens that were invading, and they turn out to be nothing compared to the second wave of this other alien race. That's kind of how it feels with Angelus, and then whatever the fuck Cordelia is. It is a nice way of switching it. It's not like they did that right from the off. You know, Angelus has been a big threat to the team for the few episodes now, and now I think they're building up everything with Cordelia, because that's been kind of a slow burn for most of this season. So yeah, I guess we'll wait and see how that all unfolds as well. But I like that aspect of things, and I do enjoy seeing Angelus a hell of a lot as a villain. He's a lot of fun. You can tell David has a lot of fun with him. The running gag of that one guy at that bar kept getting hurt and, like, threatened by Angelus, and then Faith and Wesley were going at him. Kind of like that. It just makes you know, the world kind of feel quite connected in that sense. I do feel like it was a very claustrophobic episode almost. There was a lot of scenes just like in the hotel bit, and then there's a lot of scenes like in that bar place, and then the final fight at the end of the episode with Angelus and Faith, that also felt very kind of enclosed and tense, which I suppose fits the mood of the episode. So I liked that a lot. And I was talking about Fred and Gunn and all this, and I got on a bit distracted there, but that's fine. When don't I ramble? But yeah, I enjoyed Gunn's attitude to saying, you know, maybe you mucked up, maybe you could have done something better, but you know that now, you won't do it ever again. We move on. I really like that attitude. I thought that was really cool of him to say, especially because there's been a lot of complicated stuff with him and Fred recently. I think it could have been very easy for him to hold grudges over that kind of thing, even if it was more so him that kind of broke it off in the first place, I think. But, you know, you wouldn't see him, you know, notice that Wesley was feeling down or dejected. You wouldn't see Gunn go over and give him a speech about that kind of thing, you know, because they don't really get on anymore. But obviously it's very different when it comes to Fred, because there's, you know, it's not like he broke up with her and then the feelings are suddenly gone. Certainly not, because that was kind of a big point of their scenes in this episode, because Fred was trying to approach the idea, I think, of them getting back together. A little bit of a smoochy, but I don't know if that means, oh yeah, there might be hope for them yet, because Gunn's still kind of pulled away from it, and I don't know if he's cautious about just jumping back in too soon. But I like that Fred kind of put herself out there and said, you know, I miss you, and I think we could try this again. Maybe it was a mistake to, you know, break up. But I don't know if, you know, in that kiss, it's like, oh, well, something's missing here. Maybe the spark's gone. I don't know if that's what it was going to be, or if it was, you know, a little spark of hope that maybe later on down the line they can get back together, which I wouldn't be opposed to. So we'll have to wait and see. But I liked that. I liked seeing Fred, Gunn even, be really supportive of Fred. I very much enjoyed Fred being like, what if Faith can't do this? What if we need to call on someone else entirely? Let me just get up the phone and call Willow, please. Again, I don't know if we are going to see Willow. I really hope she shows up. But, you know, I'm trying to think. Like, I don't know in terms of like what episodes aired on the same day or the same week with Buffy and Angel. I don't know if there was like episode 1 of both shows aired on this week, and then 2, 3. I don't know if it works like that. So would I be waiting for a while for Willow to show up? Or, you know, is it out of sync? I don't know. Obviously, don't tell me. But that's why I wasn't going in like, we're going to see Willow in this episode. But I don't know. We have a lot of catching up to do in terms of like episodes this like season long with Angel, which is why the next cycle I believe is all Angel actually. So we've got a bit of making up numbers to do. But yeah, I like the scenes with Fred and Gunn a lot, and everything. And Gunn's attitude in particular to things I thought was very grounded, very reasonable, and sometimes, you know, Gunn's attitude to things has rubbed me the wrong way in the past, but this one I like really kind of applauded him, and I think he showed a lot of maturity to it as well, a lot of sensitivity to the things, and it was very much like, I know my place in this group, I'm going to stay behind and, you know, hurt Angelus if I need to, but also emotionally he knew where he was standing right now, and he doesn't want to confuse things just yet. So I really liked the maturity that Gunn kind of showed in this one a lot. And, well, Fred is Fred, so of course I love her. And then everything with Faith and Wesley, I loved how the episode started off with Faith having to be, like, patched up. And it did remind me a lot of Sanctuary in season 1. The opening bits of that, where her and Angel kind of came back in the elevator and she was, like, resting up and everything. It kind of reminded me a similar way to that. How this episode explored that both Faith and Wesley are very, very different people now, and that original, you know, scene where she tortured him in season 1 compared to how it was now, they've almost really swapped their approaches. Because I think if season 4 Wesley had been captured and tortured by Faith in season 1, if it was still, you know, this Wesley how he is now, I think he'd be like, Faith, you got to do what you got to do. He'd be a bit more respectful of her tactics. He's like, yeah, I'd probably do the same to you if I wanted information out of you. Or just, you know, even not necessarily information, because I think Faith was just torturing Wesley because she could, and because I think he'd failed her a lot in the past in season 1 of Angel, after the events of Buffy season 3. But just a few moments of like very twisted Watcher and Slayer dynamic that they finally get to have. But it's also like, well, it's a bit too late for it to be kind of a sweet and wholesome Charles Buffy Watcher Slayer relationship. Because we saw Wesley really like purposefully making Faith angry and getting her riled up. She's like, well, this is who you need to be to take down Angelus. So I don't know what he was expecting of Faith when he broke her out of prison in the first place. Was he just expecting her to be exactly the same? And when he tested her on the drive back, he like stopped the car and some vampires attacked her, and he like let her take them out to see if she stood up for it. But even then, it seemed to not be enough for him after that. Even though at the time he seemed satisfied once she kind of had the fight with the Beast, and she was really kind of badly beaten from it. I mean, I imagine she's quite rusty at fighting demons. You know, she had to deal with some other people in prison, I'm sure, as we saw. But you know, the Beast is actually one of the most powerful, unstoppable beings they'd ever faced in the entirety of the Buffyverse, really. Like the most tough enemy the Angel team would kind of face at that point. So Faith loses to it, and he's like, I'm not sure you're ready for this. Even though, you know, when they've faced things and done battles in the past, even in this one, this battle with Angelus at the end, he got taken out so bloody quickly. And he's going to be like, I'm not sure you're the one who's ready here, Faith. But again, it's kind of like a Twister Watcher thing, where he just wants her to be the best. He keeps pushing and pushing it. And when he like stabbed that girl to kind of get information that she may not have necessarily had, and I don't think she even realised, you know, when she was saying what Angelus had been speaking about to the mysterious voice in his head, she didn't even realise that that was the information he was after, really. And Faith was like, Wesley, this is too far. And then Angelus at the end tried to goad her even more, saying, well, you're always going to be this monster, Faith. You're always going to be a murderer. Which is true. She is always going to be a murderer. But she can do something about it. It doesn't mean it defines her. But it's the classic Angelus thing of trying to get to her through that. Which is funny, given how Wesley was also riling her up earlier in the episode. So that was all really interesting. I liked how they kind of explored that. And I think Faith was kind of frustrated after that fight with the Beast at the start of this episode, where she like punched the tiles in as she then washed off the blood. So I think she was like, okay, I'm still covered in blood at the minute, I'm still filthy and still disgusting. Well, I don't think she could ever truly be disgusting, you know, but then she took it all out on the wall, crushed all that, and like, okay, now that frustration is in the past, now I can actually get clean. Because if she like had a shower and then done the punching, it felt like, well, I think like the moment had passed. So I like that she kind of encompassed that all into one. I feel like that was a coping mechanism for her to get the frustration out, and then, okay, let's have a shower, let's move forward, this is what's going to happen next. So that was cool. I liked the Faith and Wesley stuff a lot, just to showcase how far they've both changed since some of their last interactions in Angel Season 1. It was a really interesting spotlight on both those characters to see how far Wesley will take it now, and how much more restrained Faith is, I think, in her approach to things. She's obviously still a very capable fighter, but she hasn't been actively a slayer fighting vampires and demons for a little while at this point. So she just needs some time to get into it, and she really got thrown at the deep end with the Beast, because like I said, it's like physically one of the toughest opponents they've ever faced, because he'd been around for ages at that point. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to see a bit more of a continuation of that. Maybe see Faith find a good balance, because she doesn't want to go back into that darkness and that place she used to be, because like she said, I'm not that person anymore. But is there a way she can, you know, take some positives of who she used to be and kind of allow that to bleed into who she is now? That could be an interesting journey to see her do that, because I feel like in a way Wesley's done that. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with his methods with that girl in this episode, but he's a freaking badass now. Let's be honest. He's not all clumsy, falling over himself, having all that self-doubt necessarily anymore. Because I think in Season 3, he experienced his lowest low once he realised that he'd been tricked and everything. I think he was like, well, it's never going to get any worse than this. I'm never going to feel as bad about myself as I do right now. And I can never physically reach that point again. So I'm going to be a badass now and just do shit and not care what people think about me, because they've already seen me at my worst. The only way is up. And now he's like super badass and everything. So he's kind of found an interesting balance with who he was, because he can still like read the texts and give all this exposition and stuff, but he's also very capable now. He's kind of let loose in that sense. Because I love the badass moment in the bar where the demon guys were like advancing. He didn't even look. He just needed to point the gun and shoot. That was great. So yeah, really cool examination of Wesley and Faith's characters in this one, and hopefully we'll get more of it as the season continues. So yeah, overall another really great episode. Lorne is also wonderful as always. He had a few funny lines, but again, he seemed to be passed out for a bit of it, so he didn't have a bunch to do. Hopefully that will change very soon, but it's still nice to have him around. And he's in the opening credits of this episode, Andy Hallett. I feel like that's new. Maybe I just haven't noticed it before, because sometimes I like write notes or something when the main titles are going, so maybe I've missed it. But cool, go for Andy Hallett. About damn time, if that is like a fairly recent addition. So yeah, fantastic episode overall. Felt very kind of enclosed and character based and stuff. There wasn't like a monster of the week kind of B plot, to deal with. There were kind of B and C plot, like the Fred and Gunn stuff was kind of its own separate thing, and the Conan Cordelia felt, its own separate thing. But also, it all felt important in a way, which I quite liked. I didn't necessarily feel like, oh, this plot is more important than the other plots. I may not like all the plots, like the Conan Cordelia stuff, you could have easily not done. But you can't deny that it is important to the story going on right now. As was the Faith and Wesley kind of interactions with Angelus and with each other, and the Fred and Gunn advancement in kind of maybe forming a relationship again, or maybe like, okay, this is it. Maybe they're going to do like a Xander and Anya in Buffy right now. Maybe it's kind of paralleling that. These two couples that used to be together, they used to be in love, and they're kind of finding, oh, maybe we've just missed each other. Maybe, is that going to be like the one last time, the one last kiss for them? I don't know, but it would be an interesting parallel between Buffy and Angel if they are doing that. Maybe unintentionally, but still. So yeah, really, really great stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to be happening next with this, and how much longer Angelus is going to be in the dark about who his new master is, and how long everyone's going to be in the dark about what's going on there, and about Cordelia being pregnant, because I feel like maybe they'll wait to reveal that until Angel's properly back, because of course he's going to come back at some point. Because I think Angelus just finding that out, and then Angel's going to know when he gets his soul restored. It's not going to have quite the impact, I guess. So we'll have to wait and see. I could be very much surprised by that. But either way, really great episode. Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next. My next cycle for Buffyverse will be all Angel episodes, so that will be 15, 16 and 17. This was 14, right? Yeah, so those 3 episodes of Angel. So yeah, we're going to be catching up with how many episodes of Buffy we've done as well, which is nice. And yeah, really great stuff. And until my next reaction, thanks for watching.